What's up, everyone? How you doing? So, Akombi Damala here, and so today we're just going to be walking through the components library with Bubble to basically build, a sign up form, right? And so I'm just going to scroll down to where we have the sign up login, you know, and I'm just going to drag this in here and just drop that there. Okay, so this is a pop-up. I don't want to use a pop-up, so I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to delete this pop-up. I want to use this exactly. The group, right? So this component library is basically a library of components that can basically enable you to save a lot of time, building landing pages, basic things like sign-up forms, designs like this. So, it just saves you time and energy, really. Right, so I'm just going to say join my weekly lessons on Bubble. And I don't like this font, so I'm going to change the font to a Lato. I'm a Lato fan, right? And I don't want to use this bubble. I'd rather create an icon and style it up a bit. So I'm just going to make this first. I'm going to centralize it, and I'm going to look for a badass icon. Yeah, I like this. It's not bad at all. All right, so I don't like all this renter password thingy, so I'm just going to take this away, and don't really care much about all of that. So what do we have here? So on the left hand side on the element tree, we can see things like you have the the group itself, and then you have the icon, which I just added, then you have the header, right, which is there, and then you have the card login, and you have the card sign up page, right? You know what, I don't like this whole, yeah, I prefer this. Okay, so sign up is basically the main thing, but if you want to log in, so you can just click on this. So basically, what are we doing here? So we have the form, right? So obviously, when somebody comes, they fill their name, they fill their email, they fill their password, and then they click sign up. But if they have an account, an account, right, rather than them joining, they just you just click here, and they're able to sign in, right, with maybe um, their email and password, right? So they don't. Yeah. So all right. So how do we do this? So first of all, I want to say that when this is clicked, already have an account, is clicked, right? Basically, I'm going to delete all of this. And what I'm going to say is that I want you to go to the index page. That's the page we're on already. But I want to send a parameter. And the parameter I want to send is v is equals to sign up, right? V is equals to sign up. Okay. So also likewise, oh, sorry about that. It's not supposed to be. So you already have an account login, right? So what we are supposed to do is just take them to, and then it should be login, not sign in. Right? It should be login, right? And then Okay, so now we're back here, and now we're going to say for the card login that when you already have an account, no, not you, when you don't have an account, you want to create a new account, you click on this, and that would so I'm just going to delete this. I'm also going to delete this. So that would take you to the navigation, go to page, and that would so that's that, right? It doesn't send any parameters. All right. So we're going to go back to so we've done the configurations, right, for for what happens when we click the text. So now we're going to do some conditional statements, right? And basically the first conditional statement we're going to say here is that when get data from page URL, that's the V, is login, right? Then we say that this element is visible. So it's just a simple conditional statement. Otherwise, just call out, so it's not visible on page load, and we've collapsed it when it's not visible, when it's hidden. And I was saying that when we get V from page URL, that's the the parameter for parameter V. When V is equals to login, then this would be visible. This group will be visible. So I'm also going to do a conditional statement here and say that when get data from page URL V, now we didn't put any conditional statement, so we're just going to say when it is not empty, that means when it contains something, whether it's V is equals to login or V is equals to something else, and this element is visible. I'm just going to uncheck this so that it won't be visible, and I'm going to collapse when hidden, correct? So basically that's it, right? And what would happen here is that when this is clicked, it's just going to take you back to the sign up page, and when this is clicked, it's going to take you to V is equals to login and things like that. So now I am going to configure the login page, right? So login page. So let's assume that our application, once somebody logs in, it takes them to a page called app, right? So you log in, you go into a page called app. Now it's very, very important. I'm just going to go back to my index page. It's very important that when you are configuring this, that you name, sorry, I'm just going to open this, that you name your input elements. So that's like the input email and the input password. And you name them properly, because you can see that here you have, input login email. Why? Because you already have another input on the page here, and this is sign up. So you want to differentiate it so that when you are configuring it at the back end, it doesn't give you issues. So I'm just going to click into this and click start edit workflow, and I am just going to go into log the user in, right? And that would be input login email value, and then input login passwords emails value, and then still logged in. Yeah, you can leave that as yes. All right, so what happens after the user has logged in, right? So I'm just going to delete this. Right. So what happens when the user logs in? Right? Do they just log in and that's the end? No. After logging in, they have to go to a page where they see their dashboard or things like that. So navigation and go to what? Go to page. And the page we're going to is the page we just created called app. Right. So just like that, we've configured, the login details. And we're going to test this out. Right. But first, so now we also have a sign up page, but I'm going to duplicate this. So to duplicate, you just click on the group itself and just copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Right. And with this part of, sorry about that, I'm just going to, okay, so I'm just going to confirm this Control C, Control V. Okay, so now I'm going to call this group. Oh, okay. So this is the one with the copy. So I'm just going to call this group onboarding. So here you can put things like, um, for example, I can call this text class, right? So you can impute your class, right? So I'm going to change this impute from impute signup name. So let's just call it impute class. And it's a text, right? So I'll delete this password. And I'm going to change this from email to year of graduation, for example. And this would be a number rather than it being an email. So I'm just going to choose integer, right? So you have your class and then you have your integer. And then I'm just going to say proceed, right? And lastly, I will delete this already have an account. Just take it out from here. And now I can configure the sign up form, right? So, okay, one more thing, sorry. For this group onboarding, I need to show when it will be visible because it's not always going to be visible. So I'm just going to say this element is not visible on page load, and then I'm going to say when the get value is onboarding. Okay. I'm just going to copy this expression. This element is visible, correct. There we go. Now we are going to sign up or configure the sign up, sorry. So you start edit workflow. And so now we're just going to sign the user up. And the email is the input, sign up email value. You can see that we have an error here. We have a terrible error right here because we have an error there because, you know, we're seeing two sign up emails values. So definitely, you know, okay. So for some reason we're seeing double. So I'm just gonna check to see what could possibly be wrong as to why we are seeing um yeah, why we are seeing that double. So we have the input email, sign up name, okay. So I'm just gonna call this sign up email, sign up name, and then we have sign up password, and this is sign up. All right, so this was where the issue came from. Input graduation. I'm just going to say 2022. Okay. So I'm just going to change another field. I'm going to create a new field and I'm going to call this field name. And this is going to be a text. So you can always do this from the back end as well, but you know, just saves a lot of time doing it from the front end. So this will be input signups names value. So now that we've done that, next thing is that I want to, rather than going to the app, I'm just going to go to page and I'm going to go to the index. I'm going to send more parameters to the page. I'm going to call this v is onboarding. All right. So that would trigger the onboarding, right? That will trigger the onboarding group. So here, when we click on onboarding here, what we can just do is say we want to make changes to the current user. So that will go under account and then we just say make changes to current user. And field we want to change, I'm going to create a new field, call this field class. And it's going to be a text. And then this would be the input classes value. Then you have a new field, and I'm going to call this grad year. This is going to be a number. Then this is input graduations value. And then after doing this, you can then go to the page. All right, so that's it, right? So one of the last things I want to do is I just want to configure this, you know, to show something different every time, right? So I'm just going to say Well, that's fine. So I'm just going to say that when, right, the get data from page URL v is login. So I don't want it to say, obviously, I don't want it to say, join weekly lessons. So maybe what I wanted to say here is that, continue weekly lessons on Bob. Right, you get the drift. And also, when you are still doing the v is equals to onboarding, I want this to say almost there. Finish registering. Take process. All right, so there we have it. So it's going to change depending on what's there or whatnot. So now I'm going to preview this page. Internet seems to be slower than usual. All right, so there we have it. So you have the sign up page. If I click on already have login, it's going to take me to continue weekly lessons on Bubble, and then I click create new password. So since I don't have an account to log in, I'm just going to go ahead to create a new account. So I'm just going to call it my name, Budami. I'm just going to put my password, and I'm going to sign up. All right, I'm going to close this. So there we have it. We've signed in. Now I'm going to put my class. I'm just going to say Emerald, and then put the graduation year 2023, and then just click proceed. And there you have it, right? Logs us into the application, right? So we're in the app page. So you can see that the whole process works. It works perfectly fine. So thank you for taking the time to go through this very short tutorial stroke walkthrough of basically creating a sign-up form plus login and onboarding and signing up with Bubble. I wish you all the best in your journey. If you would like to build an application, you can reach out to me personally, and I'll be delighted to work with you. Take care, and bye-bye. See you in the next video where we'll be talking about things like forgot password and creating a temporary account for clients and things like that. See you then.